You're listening to the Faeries and Folklore podcast by Ronel. I'm dark fantasy author Ronel Janse van Vuuren. With nearly a decade of digging around in dusty folklore books, researching creatures of imagination that ignited my curiosity, I'm here to share the folklore in a nutshell and how I reimagined it for my writing in An Origin of the Fae. This is the Faeries and Folklore podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Ronel Janse van Vuuren. You can just call me Ronel. In today's episode, we're continuing our exploration of the Fae realm. This episode is brought to you by my book, Once, Tales, Myths and Legends of Faerie, available in ebook, paperback and audiobook. Go to ronelthemythmaker.com/my-books for more. We are continuing our exploration of the Fae realm. Today's subject, solar eclipse. Folklore in a nutshell by Ronel. A solar eclipse is no big mystery. The moon passes between the earth and sun, blotting out the sun for a few minutes. But throughout history, the sun's mysteriousness, significance and awesomeness proved fodder for folklore. In ancient China, it was believed that a dragon was devouring the sun during a solar eclipse. This led to people banging on pots and drums to scare the evil sun devourer away. In Norse myth, the wolf Skald chases the sun goddess Sol through the sky, and a solar eclipse is a sign that he is getting dangerously close to devouring her. Of course, when he finally succeeds, Ragnarok will come with major battles and extinction. In Egyptian mythology, the falcon-headed sun god Ra captains a boat across the sky to bring light to mortals. At night, he returns to the east through the underworld, bringing light to the dead. The giant serpent Apep tries to devour Ra every day. A solar eclipse signals that Apep got the upper hand, but Ra escapes him every time. Other cultures have their own stories. Canines trying to steal the sun, frogs swallowing the sun, archers shooting suns out of the sky, and even squirrels eating the sun. And now for my interpretation of the Fae in An Origin of the Fae, Black Sun. The solar eclipse can power various magical beings and magic spells if harnessed correctly. Depending on the type of eclipse, full or partial, and the duration, its magical properties can be weaker or stronger. The sun gives life to all on earth, and in some other realms. It can also be fickle in what it wants to do and who it wants to help. Summer Fae and fire elementals have a stronger connection to the sun and can intervene on behalf of various other Fae. As a little bonus, let's look at the translation of solar eclipse into Afrikaans. Sonsverduistering. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of the Faeries and Folklore podcast and that you've learned something new about Faerie. Remember that you can get a transcript of this episode in the description. If you're new to the podcast, why not go and grab your free copy of Unseen, the second book in the fairy tale series, on my website, ronelthemythmaker.com. Loads of folklore, magic, and danger awaits. Take care.